Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to everybody, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you here today at the GSA European Executive Forum. As we all know, the semiconductor industry is facing a major inflection point in its history. We are amidst a revolutions, a fundamental transformations of our economies, industries, societies, and lifestyles. We call it the digital revolution, driven by technological quantum leaps and an unprecedented acceleration in microelectronics. Connected devices and new applications are becoming crucial and indispensable in a wide array of sectors. It is about ubiquitous connectivity, terabyte data streams, the artificial intelligence in the cloud and at the edge. It's all about energy efficiency and system security and the sustainable use of our resources. The new world must be more connected. 125 billion connected devices are expected by 2030. More intelligent, with 150 times more edge computing devices in the current decade. More energy efficient. If nothing is done, the ICT industry will consume 20% of the world's electricity by 2025. Semiconductors play a key role to cope with these challenges. Today, no one anymore doubts or underestimates the pivotal role that semiconductors as their base play in all our electronic systems. From the smallest earbud to the largest data center, from smart devices in our pocket to electrical cars and our health, educations, and environmental, our industry has become a linchpin, not only for technological progress, not only for economic recovery and growth, but also of what we now call our technological and digital sovereignty. Ladies and gentlemen, my point for you here today is when we, as an industry, think about sovereignty, we have to translate it into leadership. It's all about the right understanding of what digital sovereignty means to us. It cannot only mean autonomy or independence. It cannot mean to pursue an insular approach, reinventing the wheel for entire sectors. When sovereignty is leadership, it means that we leverage our strengths in Europe across the whole value chain down to the end markets. We create partnerships beyond frontiers, federate forces and develop our muscles, drive the global interdependence to compensate on missing elements. Leadership with the capacity and capability to drive innovations, wherever we can disrupt slow evolutions, accelerate and set ever new global standards. And this is exactly where we have an impressive track record and a bright future. For 50 years, the European electronics and semiconductor industry has been transforming the environment in which we live. Europe has world-leading companies across the whole value chain. From RTOs and fabless to IDMs and foundry, from equipment and materials company to system OEMs. Let me give you a small example. I'm going to talk a bit about Soitec. We have been able to leverage our unique technical expertise and unleash disruptive forces to set standards in the telecommunications and radio frequency sphere. Smartphone, 4G, 5G, there is practically no such thing without Soitec and without our engineered substrate inside today. We are at consumers' fingertips, at people's workplaces, in their cars and homes. And from there, we are expanding into even smarter technologies and new sectors that seek and need our innovations and disruptive power. Automotive, mobility, artificial intelligence on the edge and in the cloud, we are engaging in new ecosystems and across constantly evolving value chains. The driver for this process and progress are our cutting-edge technologies, high-value intellectual property and world-class talented people, researchers, engineers, operators. Together, we have been able to drive the digital transformations and bring even more performant, ever more sustainable and ever more energy-efficient solutions to rapidly growing markets. The recent health crisis has not slowed this down. Right the opposite. It has given another boost for the digital transformation, highlighting again the essential role of electronics. The recent shortage of chips, in particular in the automotive industry, and the trade tensions between China and the United States have further demonstrated the need to focus on semiconductor as the heart and pulse of our systems. This shortage was an eye-opener for industries and sectors which considered semiconductors an easily available commodity. We have learned that a deep involvement and engagement within the entire ecosystem is key to succeed at the commercial front. With ongoing innovation as a motor-boosting fast go-to-market strategies for new and cutting-edge products. We have also learned that it is of essence for our industries, economies, and societies to reduce our dependence on foreign components, foster our own champions, and develop the sectors that are highly relevant to our digital sovereignties and our industrial leadership. So let's go back to Europe for a minute. Technological leadership is the industry's translations of the concept of sovereignty. I said it in the outline of my speech today. We might have lost the battle in Europe in the cloud for a long time ago. But we have huge assets to play a major role in other areas, in edge computing and electrical vehicles, for example. The challenge is to learn from the past, focus on our unique selling points, and establish strong partnerships wherever we need to be complemented. The challenge is not so much to be independent or autonomous, but to leverage our strengths and complement our abilities with partners when necessary. The challenge is to put our weight and investments where we have a chance to excel on a global scale. How does Europe prioritize its engagements and investments? How does Europe express and instill its values? How does Europe want to take care of its technological leadership? Questions that have to be answered by politicians and policymakers, and by the industry, which has to advise and inform them. It is in this vein that we have advocated for differentiated views on Europe's ambition in semiconductors. Should we really go for a standalone leadership in the fiercely contested 2-nanometer segment? In Europe, our strengths are in the 90 down to 10-nanometer range, where we can integrate and leverage the whole value chain up to the system level and down to critical mass applications. It will be a giant task and maybe an unreasonable effort to engage below 10 and even down to the 2 nanometers level alone. Europe has to mobilize its forces and focus where it can bring a real differentiation, where it can add value. For instance, in FD-SOI. FD-SOI is a highly reliable and power-efficient European CMOS tech platform, which checks all the boxes for a greener edge AI, which has great RF connectivity and a potential for digital mixed signal integrations to become a standard for edge computing, including 5G connectivity. It is in that context that we welcome the bold initiatives that the European Commission and Commissioner Thierry Breton have taken to support the semiconductor industry, become less dependent on imports, and grow our global market share. The Commission's ambition contained in the Digital Compass strategy to double Europe's shares of the global semiconductor productions to 20%. Gives an important impulse to our industry and our global standing. Soitec has actively participated over years in different European programs, for example, through a sequence of ambitious value chain projects in the XLGU framework. It is with the support of Europe and the French government that we at Soitec have achieved globally leading positions, in particular in the world of radio frequency. We are certain that these strong public-private alignments will prevail and evolve. We hope that the Commission's Key Digital Technology, so-called KDT framework, will continue the Excel program ambition. And we engage with enthusiasm in the important projects of common European interest that the Commission has announced. We also take part in a leading consortium to develop European low-consumption chips. And we support the Commission's and Europe's goals in the carbon footprint reductions and in sustainability, as foreseen and set out by the Paris Climate Agreement. So let me, for a minute, let me come back to leadership. Europe has the assets, the values and intelligence to put all these together, accelerate innovations, launch disruptive solutions, and grow our industrial footprint. We can rely on major research institutes such as CLAT in France, IMEC in Belgium, and the Fraunhofer Institute in Germany. We can rely on strong industry clusters like in Dresden and Grenoble. We have real champions on a global scale, such as ASML, Bosch, Infineon, STMicroelectronics, NXP, and of course, in all modesty, Soitec. We can rely on European system companies, operators and service providers across key domains to drive market adoptions from telecommunications to healthcare, from automotive and industry to the energy sector. Let's work with them. Let's work together. My conclusion is, as you will know by now, Europe has the assets to play a key role in the global semiconductor ecosystem. With our unique capability to define market standards, to build global technological partnerships, and to implement a healthy competitions, we will be able to meet our industrial goals and assert our sovereignty, our leadership, in terms of data security, economic success, and a sustainable development. Europe has the cloud, Europe has the critical mass, Europe has the talents to build a world where semiconductors and our substrates become the soil of 21st century technologies. Thank you for your attention.